happened?" said the director of the Cartoon Network Groovies music video. Z. The director clapped his hands and looked at everyone on set. "That's a wrap!" he shouted. "Jabberjaw finally has a music video we can put out." No. Jabberjaw finally has a music video we can be proud of. And then he jumps to the ground, pulling a Tim Tebow, which I don't really know what that is, and everyone on set laughed. Who was laughing the most, you ask? Why, Jabberjaw, of course. And then this is where okay. So this is Shelly. And this is Jabberjaw. Y'all need visual reference of who's talking. Okay. All right. Who was laughing the most, you ask? Why, Jabberjaw, of course. He had been having such a good time on set with the band, Payne, and his old buddies that it was hard to take himself out of his work. He had saved the day more times than he could count on camera, but it had been a while since there had been any real danger.
Why was that funny? Why that was certainly funny, yelled Jabberjaw, doing a loop-de-loop in the air. Jabberjaw looked over to Shelly, who was tuning up a bass guitar, uninterested as always. It's so hard to look at your. Oh, that's right. That's you, Goldie. Sorry.
No, you can read that part.
It's so hard to look at your first true love, thought Jabberjaw. The rest of the band and the crew had gone home already, but Jabberjaw had been thinking for a long time on set.
Shelly looked to Jabberjaw. "Oh," she said. "I didn't realize you were still here," she said with a twinkle in her eye. Could she have meant something more?
Yeah, said Jabberjaw, chuckling like Curly from the Three Stooges. "Guess I am."
Shelly spoke. "You know, Jabberjaw, we've been getting pretty close these past few months, and I was thinking I should tell you."
Just then, an explosion happened. The robots and the evil eel from the video game came in real life to terrorize the group. Jabberjaw swam over to Shelly and put a pudgy fin up.
"Don't worry, it's probably a trick," he shouted. Shelly nodded. She was too scared after all. Is that you, Goldie?
I think
No, that's you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me? Okay. Mm-hmm. The eel and robots started grabbing things and breaking them. They didn't even care what broke. It was maddening to watch the metal beast completely destroy something beautiful, Jabberjaw. "Enough!" bellowed Jabberjaw, scaring everyone, including the biggest robot. "You can't do this!"
The eel snickered. Oh. He sounded like Muttley and shook his head. He meant to say that it could, which really freaked out Shelly and Jabberjaw. I'll just read out everything and y'all do the quotes. I think that'll be the easiest.
All right.
This one's short. Suddenly, the biggest robot was unparalyzed from fear and began to form lasers in his eyes. He turned to Shelly and locked his sights on her.
"No!"
yelled Jabberjaw, who bounced in the way of Shelly as the lasers came down. He put his white belly up in the air and took the hit, shrieking all the while. Shelly put her hands to her face like the scream, and she couldn't believe what was going on. It was amazing, though. Jabberjaw's special shark skin reflected the laser even though it hit him. It bounced back at the robots and destroyed them all, even the eel too. Jabberjaw had bested the enemies, but at what cost? Suddenly, the director and crew came in with the medical staff. They immediately go to Jabberjaw's side and begin to nurse him back to health. Jabberjaw was fading fast, but would probably live.
"Shelly,"
Jabberjaw whispered as he was being wheeled away on the stretcher.
Is it true?
What do you mean, Jabber?
Jabberjaw laughed. Jabberjaw laughed gently.
Would you truly never date me because I smell like bait?
Shelley got tears in her eyes because she knew it was true.
Get well soon, Jabberjaw. Then we'll talk.
Okay.
Said Jabberjaw as he closed his eyes very slowly so it looked like he wasn't.
But I have to tell you, I've never loved you before.
Okay.
Said Shelley. Jabberjaw was then rushed to the hospital. 1 week later, and Jabberjaw was feeling back to his old self. He looked to his bedside stand at the hospital where he kept a calendar of how many days he had left in the joint and a picture of Shelley. So it's like the hospital's like his prison. He sighed, ready to go out in the world again. Just then, he heard a rapping at the door. Who could it be, he thought. It was actually Shelley, his true love.
Jabberjaw?
She asked Tim Italy. Jabberjaw smiled weakly. He suddenly felt very weak.
Shelley.
She smiled.
Well, see, it's about our relationship.
She struggled to get the words out. Jabberjaw grinned.
You want to do this thing?
Shelley laughed.
Well, you see, it's complicated. You see, I've been seeing someone for the last week.
Who?
Asked Jabberjaw, starting to feel very deathly. Shelley broke down crying.
Oh, crap! Ew!
She heaved out. Jabberjaw smiled, a shark coma imminent.
He's a wise boy.
Jabberjaw slipped into a coma for 5 years. He eventually came to when a nurse was changing his chum IV. Jabberjaw still speaks about the old days, and sometimes a small tear forms in his eye. It's fine, though. He wishes Shelley and Scrappy well, and often writes them letters and sends them money to go out and do things. Most people wouldn't want anything to do with Scrappy, but I say Jabberjaw isn't most people.
What the hell was that?
Wow.